Zakiya, you're gonna have to move over.
Wait, you just pressed the arrows, right?
Hmm? What's wrong?
You can't even see her.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What?
No, you want to keep body language. Don't Okay. You good?
Ready?
Okay.
Has anyone taken a practice exam where they better on a practice than you would on a regular exam, such as a practice ISAT or a practice ACT or SAT? In high school, everyone has had to take one of these so that your scores can be sent off to the best college of your choice. But the only problem is that taking the ACT or the SAT, they are good indicators of college success. It is a good indicator because I'm sure most of us didn't want to come to EIU, but because of our grades and test scores, we had no choice. I'm not saying it was slow or anything, but I'm just saying. I'm going to talk about if your scores really determine how smart you are, and I'm also going to talk about if practicing for the exams really make a difference. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is schools really look at your scores. In order to get into EIU, you have to submit a lot of paperwork, or maybe you didn't, but either way, you have to send in your grades and scores. And with that being said, that leads me to my first main point. Are your test scores really important to the school of your choice? Knowing that your scores really determine where you go, they are very important to your school. According to Ralph Figueroa, Director of College Guidance in Albuquerque Academy, says that no doubt that standardized tests are an important piece of the puzzle in helping college decide which applicants will do well if they are admitted. In fact, the importance placed on tests has grown in recent years. And tagging on to what he has said, standardized tests to me has really grown in every aspect. On this picture it says that admission offices accept or reject students based on a number of criteria. This chart is a rough estimate of the weight offices put on different application sections. On the orange side, where it says test scores, the SAT and ACT scores weigh much more than clubs and sports, even community service. According to How to Make Better College Admissions Decisions by Moheen S. Tan and Uday Sarahabi, a student's standardized estimation score in high school percentile rank are the qualitative factors admissions often use to form a selection index, which is one of the main criteria used to make college admission decisions, especially in public universities. Saying that your scores and GPA are the major factor in getting picked leads me to my second point. Do your test scores really determine how smart you are? Well, according to accuracy of self-reported SAT and ACT scores, implication for research says, as expected to study finds overall validity of self-reported test scores to be high. Either taking the practice or even taking the real deal, your scores have to be sent. However, taking the practice test helps you prepare for the real test, and sometimes you do way better on the final if you have practice. In this picture, it explains where everyone should be on exam if you were pacing yourself. The ones where it says behind, I would be sure that A, they even haven't taken the test before, or B, they didn't study. Doing well on the final all depends on how much time you put towards studying and taking the practice test. I do believe that taking a practice test can improve your score on the final. However, depending on how many times you practice and how much effort you give, it really determines it all. And that brings me to my third point. Is practicing for an exam or a practice exam really worth it in the end? There is a saying that says practice makes perfect, and putting in a few extra hours has helped plenty of people pass with the score they intended. Well, according to Learning in the Shadows and In the Light of Day by Eric Galtzi at the University of Minnesota, says that test preparation increases the odds of attending a selective four-year college by 24%. 51% respectively met of other measures and academic achievement, which ties my first 3 points all together. Knowing that just by practicing you can have a higher test score, higher grades, or even a higher GPA, In the text of Shadow Education, American-Style Test Preparation, the SAT and College Enrollment by Claudia Benjamin, Dennis J., and Bennett J., students utilize several strategies in order to improve their SAT score. Roughly half take the exam multiple times, and 15% take the test 3 or more times. This strategy pays off as student scores usually improve upon re-examination, but knowing that, I'll take practicing a little more serious next time I have one. With all this practicing and studying, shouldn't there be an alternative to standardized tests? Well, according to Alternative to Standardized Tests by Bob Peterson and Monty Neal, one of the more promising forms of assessment is what is known as the portfolio-based assessment. This approach to portfolios varies considerably, but they all rest on records kept by the teacher and on collections of students' work, called the student portfolio. During the school year, teachers and students gather work which shows students' progress and achievements in various subjects, such as English or science. Students are usually encouraged to reflect on the work that has been selected, such as reflection helps students think not only about what they have learned, but about their own learning process, all of which contributes to the overall goal of improving students' learning. In the text, Standardized Tests, Eric Digest by Whitman Barber, such alternatives have included criteria reference tests, teachers-made tests, contract grading, interviews with students, and their parents, and detailed documents of students' accomplishments. There are plenty of other options that have been used for standardized tests, however. Seeing that the scores are really important and that schools take their time to look at them, also know that how much time you put into the preparation can also help your score. And with that being said, I'll be closing with this. No one likes to take a test, or even the fact of studying for one, but in the end, it's all worth it. If working towards the best college or even taking a test for a job is worth it, so next time you study, don't put it off for too long. Thank you.